Bradley Moss joining now, national security attorney. I think there's a couple things here, obviously, as Kelly goes through the intel beforehand. From a legal perspective, however, this idea that there weren't, according to this report, any agents in the crowd or helping to spur on the crowd, I mean, might that play into lawsuits for, the story, the Ray Epps story, these stories that have been out there for years? What do you think?
Yeah, there's been a lot of questions about whether or not there would be some defamation suits coming out over time as these various deranged crackpot conspiracies got debunked. For the most part, I don't expect any that haven't already come out to come out at this point, because the majority of people who were pushing it, majority of people in certain conservative media and maybe on outlets like Fox News or Newsmax, to the extent that there was ever any exposure liability, they were running off other reports, and they could arguably claim that they were covered from a journalistic standpoint. But what is critical coming out of this is that, at least for now, we'll see what the next 4 years are like, there are still going to be reports that debunk this craziness. There is still some mechanism. There still are institutions that will say, no, enough with the crazy. Here's the facts. Here's reality. No, this was not an FBI-led, false flag. This was, in fact, Donald Trump's people, and they did, in fact, storm the Capitol.
I don't know how many people that believed otherwise will believe the truth because they hear this, but to your point, and I agree with you, it's important to still report the truth and have it out there in an official report. Second thing, the other story I wanted to talk to you about today was President Biden with all of this clemency. I say all of this clemency because the White House is the one saying this is the largest single-day act of clemency of all of time. The headline from the Associated Press is that Biden commutes roughly 1,500 sentences, pardons 39 different people. So comment on that, but also I think it's more interesting to talk about what might be still to come before the 20th of January. There's this idea that he's going to go out and pardon even more people, preemptively pardon someone like, I don't know, Hillary Clinton. Bill Clinton on The View made these comments that are getting a lot of attention. Here's the former president.
If President Biden wanted to talk to me about that, I would talk to him about it, but I don't think I should be giving public advice on the pardon power. I think it's a very personal thing, but it is, I hope he won't do that.
Meaning go after his wife, I suppose. What do you think is coming here? Are these preemptive pardons going to be a thing before the 20th of January?
So I'm skeptical that the preemptive pardons, even if Joe Biden does go out and try to issue a whole swath of these to certain members of Congress, all the people on Kash Patel's, deep state target list and the various other Trump ally target lists, I doubt most of those people would ultimately accept the pardon, because they would have to accept a level of guilt. That remains the position of the Justice Department over all these years. It was their position when then President Trump pardoned Joe Arpaio out in Arizona, and he tried to claim that he didn't have to accept guilt in order to get it. And the judge disagreed and said, no, you are accepting guilt by virtue of taking this pardon. So I don't really believe that, even if Joe Biden was interested in going down that road, that most people would accept it. And they're not going to give Donald Trump that pleasure, that, just that vindication to say, oh, see, I needed a pardon because of something I did. Their view is,
but that's a legal option. If you're offered a pardon, you don't have to accept it.
Yeah, correct. You can decline to accept the pardon. Joe Biden can go out there and say, I'm going to offer these pardons, and Hillary Clinton and Adam Schiff and various FBI officials can say, we respectfully decline. We're not accepting the pardon. Donald Trump, go ahead and try to prosecute us. And let's be very clear. For the most part, there is no reason to believe there's any viable criminal case against any of these officials. A lot of it's political hyperbole. But if Kash Patel is put in the FBI, if Pam Bondi is at DOJ, and you've got Donald Trump running things from the White House, you have to expect they're going to at least make these people's lives a living hell for 4 years.
Bradley Moss, thank you as always for joining us. We appreciate it very much. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.